stream because I just want to tell you that I made a few mistakes and I was told some information that wasn't correct about the motion for consideration. My prices to apply for the motion of consideration for my lawyer's fees were, in fact, $12. But I was originally told that once the final price came through, it would be about 30,000 pesos or $600. However, when I went back for last week and the week before, the computers were down and they had said to come back Friday, but Friday I was busy, so I wasn't able to come back Friday. So I went today and I had to pay for my April extension. April 28th was my deadline. That would have brought me up to June 28th. So when I got there today, they did have, the computers were up and they did have my paperwork done. That's my thumbnail. I'm not going to show you the whole paper because it has personal information on it. But let me tell you what happened. Number one, the original quoted price of about 30,000 pesos was changed to 15,000 pesos, $300. However, some of the original instructions from 6 months ago have changed also. So 6 months ago, you could get the motion of consideration, stay in the country without leaving the country, and pay $600. Apparently that's changed. Now, I got that information from a woman Philippines blogger who, that was the only video I ever watched from her, and it'll be the last video I ever watched from her because so many things were wrong from her video. It wasn't necessarily her fault, but because she had a person from the Philippines government she was interviewing, and somebody in the interpretation or the rules changed. So whatever was on that video from 5.5 months ago has nothing to do with the reality of what the motion for consideration is today. So my motion for consideration, which would have made me leave by May 1st, if I didn't do what I did, I'm trying to word it properly. So had I left before May 1st, I could have left the Philippines and then came back. But because I applied for a motion for consideration, they gave me until August 28th to leave the Philippines, which is 90 days extension for free. However, with today's service fees of 3,000 pesos, the motion of consideration was granted with the 90-day extension plus the 2-month extension that's free. That basically almost balances out at the 15,000 peso mark, which is what I paid today. Actually, 17,800 pesos. It's really confusing. It's really confusing because I was told one thing, I said one thing, I was sure that it was one thing, now it's something else. I don't know when the rules changed or how they changed the rules. All I know is that today I gave the Bureau of Immigration 17,800 pesos. My visa is extended until August 28th from May 1st. So that gives me May, June, July, August. That's 90 days. And when I leave the country, I'm allowed to come back into the country. No problems, no questions asked. Because of the way the paperwork that they gave me, there's nobody that can say, well, you've been here for 3 years, you can't come back. They granted, you've been here for 3 years, you've been on time, you pay 18,000 pesos, you can leave and come back. Now, I could leave tomorrow morning if I want. It doesn't matter when I leave, but I'll probably use up part of the extension because I don't really care when I leave. Now, one thing that I don't understand is how the rules have changed so many times since January. I don't understand that. But apparently they did change. And the rules that we got were from a person that worked or supposedly worked with the Bureau of Immigration. So all of his information either has been negated, it was incorrect, he was making it up as he went along, or he was misinformed, which made me misinformed. So it's not 30,000 pesos. For me, senior citizen, they call that 15,000 pesos. The 18,000 pesos was for this extension. Now, I still have to pay for all my extensions, but the motion for consideration that allows you to leave the country and then come back for another 35 months, that part is the important part, which has been approved. So in other words, I have permission to leave the country and come back. Had I not done this, maybe with that guy who keeps trying to mess with everybody's immigration papers, maybe he would have had some success. But now, honey, where, give me my bag, please. I'll show you that part so that there's no problem with everybody thinks I'm not lying. That guy is lying. And that guy screwed up big time today. Oh my God. Now there really is a fugitive. Now the fugitive has become real. So, okay, I'm just going to show you this one section here. I don't want to put any of my personal information. Okay, so here, see that right here above my finger, once this fee of 10,000 pesos and 5,000 pesos, this is basically the service charge for the motion for consideration. Once this 10 and 5,000 peso fee was paid, I can leave the country and come back and stay another 35 months. Now, there are other ways to stay in the country. Another way would be to get your permanent visa, and that's why they give you that other 90 days. So in case you want to get a permanent SSRV visa, or if you want to get married, they give you that option. They give you that 90-day period to take care of that. Or you can leave and come back, and then you have 35 months, and you start again at zero with your countdown, and you pay every 2 months or 6 months. So as far as the fraudulent statements that were made about me never being able to get my motion of consideration or a visa extension, that's now behind me, and it's all paid for. I would have done this last week, but their computers were down. I couldn't show you the paper because they couldn't print it out. Hello, good evening, Raiden. So, do you have a question about the motion of consideration? I'll answer that question if I can, Raiden. I don't really want to be on here much longer. I want to get outside before the sun, well, the son is going to move over a building, and I'll be in the shade, working in the shade for the rest of the day. So if no one has any questions, I'm going to end this live stream. But I will tell you that the man who has been lying, direct accusations about being able to stop me from leaving the country, coming back to the country, stop my motion for consideration, all of that. Thank you. Okay, no questions. I'll be happy to answer them if you have it. This is an important topic for a lot of people. That man has been telling you stories for what, 4 months now, that he's going to stop this and do that, and I'm not going to be able to leave the country or enter the country. Why? For what reason does he go on and on about this every day? I don't understand. I don't understand. He's been talking about doing this for 4 months now, that he's going to stop this, and nothing happened. And just last week he said that he did stop it and nothing happened. However, he did something this morning. Oh, God. Oof, oof. He did something. He blundered. He blundered this morning. Oh, my God, he blunder. But I can't talk about that. I'm sworn to secrecy. But I will tell you that my series on The Fugitive is going to have a part 3. And I'm going to tell you the story in allegory. Or I may just come right out and tell you the story. Depends on what the lawyers agree I can say. But there is a guy out there that has some really, 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 really big mistakes regarding the United States government and what he believes he can get away with. And the same way he believes that he could stop my motion of consideration is the same way he believes he's going to circumvent justice in the United States. And that part is the lie. Tisk, 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 says Sarcasm DQ. Welcome to the machine, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. I was part and parcel of some privy information. Oh, my goodness. When I come out, Truth, Justice, and the American Way, Superman, when I come out and give you the exact details, if I can, if I'm allowed, I've been sworn to secrecy, but not sworn to not make fugitive videos, because the fugitive is very real. At this point, nothing could be more real than the fugitive. Mr. Gimbals, we found out his real name. It's Michael. Michael. His real name is Michael. I'll put that in the title of the next live stream. He lives. He's a convicted felon. Michael is, and he lives. He reigns out of Washington State, and he's the son-in-law of a very famous blogger. Michael is. The apples don't fall far from the tree in Washington State, baby. No. The apples, it's like they all get together. Is your father a criminal? Yes, sir. Oh, then I want to marry you. You want to marry me because my father's a criminal? Yes. Criminals stick together like white on rice. Well, how do you know? How do you know you want to be part of my criminal family? Oh, babe. What did your father... Oh, yeah, your father did... Oh, your father did... Oh, your father's... That's the kind of guy you... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I want to be part of that family. Michael said this, not me. Different Michael altogether. Another felon, by the way. So now we have a Michael that's a felon that wants to be part of a criminal crime family in America from Washington State. And I'll talk about that in my next upload about the fugitive. And in the meantime, I have a direct message for a specific person that tried to get my motion for consideration stopped. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Having a nice day, are you? I don't think so. I think you forgot to do something this morning. I think you forgot to do something this morning. Like the fugitive in my series, The Fugitive. He forgot to do something, and he became a fugitive in the series that I'm doing, in the storyline. See how stories and allegations and allegory, they all, fact and fiction, it all melts together on YouTube. You really screwed up this morning. You have no idea. That's twice. They're gonna. Yeah, he was really good, Harrison Ford. Hey, if you go to, if you read about the original Fugitive from 1967, that was the original superstar ending of all the movies and all the TV series that ever existed before 1967. That was the ultimate TV series ending ratings and viewers in all of the history of television. The last episode of The Fugitive, I think he was in a sewer or something like that. Sewer, cave, something. He was in there. Like the guy on YouTube. Like the guy, the rat. That's always ratting people out. Except Richard Kimball, he never ratted anybody out. But in my Fugitive version, there's a rat in there. There's a rat. I can make anything I want. It's comedy. Allegory and comedy. You can make of it what you want. But I will tell you that there is fact. Yeah, you're right, Raiden. MASH was the best, highest rated episode ever, but MASH occurred in the 80s. The Fugitive, the original Fugitive, ran from 1964 to 1967. MASH was in the late 70s, I think. Rappy Tutu, here we get the truth. So MASH was the highest rated, but MASH came several years or 15 years after the original Fugitive. I didn't actually watch the last MASH. I wasn't much into MASH. There was nothing in MASH that interested me much. I liked Klinger. I liked the show, but I wouldn't stay home from doing something to watch MASH. And I never really watched The Fugitive. I was 12 years old, but I watched them later on. So you're right. MASH was the highest rated show at that time. Fugitive was the highest rated. Fugitive was the one that made history before that. All right. So then, thanks for watching. And hey, little man, you forgot to do something that's going to cost you so much angst. I don't know if it'll cost you any money. Well, I don't know if it'll cost you anything at all, really. I'm only hypothetically speaking. I think you're in a world of trouble, but I could be wrong. Just like you were wrong about my motion for consideration. But I'm not wrong about something else that's about to occur. No. I saw the paperwork. Dude, you made a tremendous blunder. And you know who you are. I gotta go. The sun is going to be over this building, and I'll be out of the sun for the rest of the day, working like a man out with heavy construction tools and equipment and lumber. And I think I'll break out the chainsaw just for the heck of it, because I have some stuff I want. Actually, I'm going to chainsaw down a big shrub that's in my way to put the footings in when I start putting the footings in next week. And also, I think I'm going to start setting up the chains to make the pick on the container. That'll take about 3 hours to put the 2 chains on the container. And I may even decide to try to pick the container up. I have a 6 or 7,000 pound, a 6 or 7 ton cargo container that has to be lifted up about 12 inches off the ground, and then I have 16-foot planks, 3 by 7 and 3 by 6 planks that are going to be just placed on a flat level surface. and I'm going to pick the cargo container up, slide the planks underneath the cargo container, drop the cargo container down, and then slide the cargo container across the planks and relocate the cargo container. It's either that or I get in a piece of equipment that's really too big for this property to pick the cargo container up. And no matter what the price is, which is probably reasonable, it's just too big to get down the block. The cherry picker that I want to bring down the block, which will make the pick in one swing with an 80-foot boom, 60 to 80-foot boom, it just won't fit down the block. It's just too big. So I think I'll do it myself and save. I'll save $1,000, and I'll work for a day, but I'll save $1,000, and I won't have to cut. If the cherry picker comes in, I'll have to cut. Hey, Gem Alva, thank you for stopping by. Welcome. If the cherry picker comes, I'd have to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no less than 6 of the neighbor's power lines to get the cherry picker in, and then I'd have to have an electrician on the job to splice the power lines back at the end of the day. So that would cost about $200 for the electrician to make the splices at the end of the day, and then $1,000 for the machine. So it's about $1,200 to make the pick. If I do it myself, it just takes me about 6 or 7 hours if all goes well. And then I won't pay $1,200. The problem with cutting everybody's wires is I have the right to cut their wires. Don't make any mistake about it. Their wires were placed over my property years ago, and I told the electrician, don't put the wires over my property. I'll be bringing in equipment one day. And they did it anyway. The container is a 20-foot cargo container, but it's not full of the most heavy stuff in the world. I think the cargo container has a capacity of 66,000 pounds, 32 tons, 32 metric tons. I don't think I have 5 tons in it. I don't think I have 5 tons. I might, but it would be easy enough to take 3 tons out. It's a lot of the stuff is giant, heavy pieces of equipment. I got like 6 bags of cement. That's 600 pounds. That's quite a bit of weight. And I'm not worried about the pick. I think I can make the pick. 20-foot cargo container. The chains will take about 3 hours to put the chains on properly. And then, and that's it. So I'm going to move the horses out of the way. If it doesn't rain, I'm going to jump up on the roof and put the chains on. And then we'll see what happens. I might be going live tomorrow, moving the cargo container. If it doesn't rain today, that's my project. So, and oh my God, did you see his video where he said my lawyer's going to be busy because I had T-shirts? He doesn't even put the stories in context. He doesn't even, he gets everything wrong. I don't know if he does this on purpose or he's just stupid and can't remember what things were. Not only that, to go one step further, never in my life have I ever mentioned a name that regarding the T-shirts that I could remember. But even if I did, the NBI, when I worked with the NBI said, well, there's no law in the Philippines about making a caricature of another person. None. There is no law, no ordinance, no nothing. But now there's an ordinance about selling T-shirts, and that you have to pay taxes. But that was back in 2018 or 19. At that time, they didn't even have these tax laws that they have now. But even still, even if they had the tax laws back then, it doesn't matter. There is zero proof. Hey, little man, there's zero proof that I ever sold a t-shirt, other than the fact that I bought 26 shirts in America and I gave 12 away. There's no proof of any t-shirt sales. I just bought 26 shirts and I gave 12 away, or 14 at this point. So where is there proof that there was money to be made? And this is what's wrong with him in his head. He can't get it through his head. He never saw 177,000 t-shirts. He never saw 177,000 pairs of sunglasses. He never saw the cargo container that was under 20 feet of water in the ocean with the t-shirts in it. He never saw anybody selling t-shirts. He never saw a receipt. He never saw any money change hands. He never saw a bill of sale for a t-shirt. He never videotaped anybody selling a t-shirt. And yet somehow he's going to pay a lawyer $1,000 to file a case against me for something he can't prove. This is what's wrong with him. The same way he's going to prove that I'm not going to get my motion of consideration. It doesn't click upstairs. It just doesn't click. He's an idiot. I've said it a million times. The man is illiterate, and when he read the Chainsaw Act, he can't read he read the Chainsaw Act, but he can't discern what it says. He read it, but only his interpretation of the Chainsaw Act is what he understands to be the truth. But his interpretation of the Chainsaw Act is not the truth. It has nothing to do with the reality of the Chainsaw Act. There are so many clauses and bylaws in the Chainsaw Act that the Chainsaw Act practically says Michael Fazio can own a small chainsaw and cut down shrubbery on his property. The only thing it doesn't say is the word Michael Fazio. After that, small chainsaw, A-OK. Cutting or arboring shrubs on your property, A-OK. Owning a small chainsaw, A-OK. Buying a small chainsaw, A-OK. And I bought it in the Philippines. So this is what he doesn't get. He doesn't get it. He's not smart enough to see the big picture. And what he did this morning, he thinks somehow he's circumventing the authorities in America. I don't think he is. I think he blundered. We'll find out in a few days. I'll give you the skinny on that. I got to go. Thanks, DNC. Thanks, Sarcasm. Thanks, Radon. And anybody else that's watching, have a nice day. From Michael Fazio and Daisy May in the Philippines, baby. Bye-bye for now.